you all on the video. Let's see. Bring them on video. Let's see. Can y'all hear me? All right. Okay, I guess that's yes. All right, good deal. I had a problem with with sound. Yes, I can hear you. All right, appreciate it, Walt. Thank you, homie. All right, so we're talking about equity, and uh, let's see. Let me find my place again. Um, so yeah, so we was talking about refinancing, the power of equity, refinancing, and collateral leveraging, exit strategy, profit, and then also partnership currency, right? And that is equity is often traded for capital, labor, expertise. So there are a lot of ways at how, and you work in a real estate deal, how you can pull your equity, how you can use your equity just as money. It's just like a credit card, you can go out and purchase things. Well, you have some businesses, they don't accept particular cars, right? But and then some of them accept all cars. So that is a form of exchange when you're talking about purchasing products and services, right? So equity pretty much works the same way. You can put in sweat equity. You can put in, if you have a profession, you can use that. Say if you're an attorney and things like that, and you want to get in on a real estate deal, you can promise, you can offer closing, or you can offer representation or rendering, not rendering, but what they call it. It'll come to me, but to where you are actually you're going to give the attorney a fee, and in exchange they're going to give you're going to give you're asking for the service of the attorney, right? And they are going to in return represent you for whatever legal representation you need, right? And so like if the business was to go to court, that attorney would represent the business. That would be his form of equity, meaning that basically he didn't have to exchange it for money, right? So but yeah, all right, so here's an example. um, uh, and as we said, a contractor is building $100,000 renovation that creates $150,000 in value. That's 50,000 isn't just profit; it's equity power that can be redeployed. So that's basically uh, another example of how equity can benefit you. Now, how developers and contractors build equity, okay? Now, I'm going to stick to what I got here so that I don't, miss something out. But here's where it gets exciting, because as developers and contractors, we don't just wait for equity to happen. We actually manufacture it, okay? We actually manufacture equity. And that's really what it's about, manufacturing equity, okay? Buying rights, this is the acquisition equity, okay? So with this thing, you got equity is often made the day you buy something, okay? And undeveloped properties, foreclosures, blight transformation, all start below market value, okay? I'm gonna say it again. Undeveloped properties, foreclosures, blight transformation, they all start below market value. And right here in the capital city, we got 4,200 vacant, blighted properties, both real both residential and commercial. Look at the immense potential we have there as a collective that we can capitalize on, you know? And it's mind-boggling, and it really is. So another way how we build equity is value add improvements, and that's construction equity, okay? Every nail driven, every wall raised, every unit upgraded, that sweat equity turns into value. Give you a perfect example. I just, well, not just, it's been about a year or so ago that I finished building a cottage, right? And I was giving a price for the plumbing. Now, this cottage is, you know, the HVAC, the heating and cooling was about 700, less than 750 square feet, all right? And it's a 2-bedroom, restroom, washroom, and kitchen. And they wanted to charge me upwards of $10,000–$12,000 to do the plumbing work on that small resident. Well, what I did was rolled up my sleeve, and because I already had a general understanding about plumbing, rolled up my sleeve, and I put in that equity, sweat equity. And it saved me $10,000–$12,000 that I can get on the back end, you know? So when that property sells, what contributed to that equity, or how much I actually put in the pocket, is the work that I put in that I did myself, and I didn't have to go out and pay someone, right? That's $10,000 in the bank, $10,000–$12,000 in the bank, okay? So that sweat equity, you know, it adds great value. All right. Forced appreciation, okay? And what that is a development vision, okay? Developer vision. And that's when you're doing some rezoning, repurposing, or redeveloping land into a higher use. Example, turning on an old warehouse into a mixed-use apartment. That is what we call forced appreciation, meaning that this building that was once a warehouse has a lot less of value than a building, same square footage, but now is used for an apartment. Okay, it has more value, right? It has more value, and therefore your equity conceivably will increase as well. And then there is, okay, well, let me also tell you about depreciation. Well, that's something else, but we won't get into that part. It may be able to actually capitalize on, you know, like when you're doing your taxes, you know, depreciation can also save you money. You have to pay less taxes, all right? Now, also community development, you know, social equity, economic equity. This is revitalizing a neighborhood, adding amenities, improving safety, raises the value, not only for your project, but for the entire community, okay? This is why we really want to stress about, instead of going into an area and just buying one house, what really benefits you greatly is when you buy the whole block, when you buy the whole street, okay? That makes a difference, because now instead of you got one property on there that you know that you're going to keep up, you know, you're not going to neglect it. Now you have these properties in your portfolio, every house on the block looking nice, nobody's parking the cars on the grass, nobody's changing engines in the front yard, or you know, all these things that brings the property value down. You know, when you own it and you control it, you can say what goes on your block, on your street, or whatever you know that you control. All right. So here are ways to create and grow equity. Sweat equity as contractors and labor literally creates, as contractors, our labor literally creates wealth. All right. Rental income growth, holding properties and letting tenants pay down debt grows equity month by month. Now, I'm going to tell you about a sweet deal uh, that uh, that I heard of, and it may be me that benefited from this, but there was a property that someone wanted to buy. All right. Well, we wanted to buy, my wife and I, we wanted to buy it. Well, someone wanted to sell their property. All right. They had one of the children living there. He wasn't taking the property, so the person said, "Well, I'll just sell it." I went over there, took a look at the property. Everything around it was sweet, was beautiful. These property was upwards of $100,000. Okay, and this lady only wanted $50,000. Okay, now I'm going to show you something, and this has to do with being creative when you trying to find out how to acquire a piece of property. You know, there are oodles and oodles of ways that you can do that. All right, so this in this particular situation, the woman wanted $50,000. All the houses around was worth $100,000+. So that's a no-brainer to me, right? That means there's somewhere about at least $50,000 in equity. Okay. And here's the thing. I said to her, you know, we'll buy it, but what we want you to do, and I don't know if this is legal or not, but, you know, give us $5,000 cash money, and we'll buy it for $55,000. Okay. She gives us the $5,000. We bought it for $55,000. Okay. And we signed a note for $55,000. We took the money and we renovated the property with the $5,000, and we did it. And by the time that the property, the note came up, we had a renter in there. Okay, had the property appraised, and the property appraised for $95,000. So we did a refinance. Okay, we did that refinance, put that renter in there, had that renter to pay back the mortgage. Okay, the renter paid back the mortgage. So when the property was sold, I think it's about 120,000. So y'all do the math. That is equity. You know, we created that equity. We had sweat equity in it. We did some creative financing, you know, figure out a way how to put as less of our money. And guess what? We didn't put one dime in that project, not of our personal money. It all came through sweat equity, creative deals, and just a stroke of luck, right? So, but that's what's going on with that. All right, that's what went on with that. All right, the bigger picture. Let me get back to market appreciation, riding the waves of the neighborhood growth. So it's like I said, you know, when you got a collection of houses in the same general area, everybody's keeping up with their property. And, you know, if a house goes up for sale, somebody's snatching it off the market real quick. That is a good case for their property value increasing. And so when one property increased, typically speaking, all of the property is going to increase. So that's a collective effort. And this is why, and you can't get mad at folks when they went out and they in a nice neighborhood, and you know, for whatever reason they think that when we come along, you know, they say there goes the neighborhood. You know, 1 is okay, 2 is okay, but 3 and 4, now it's time to sell, because in their minds, and with good reasons, you know, people like parking things on the grass and doing this, and you know, someone tells her, hey man, you know, Would you not park on the grass and, keep old vehicles and all that? It's really a group effort when you're talking about market appreciation. If everybody's keeping up with their property, that's what creates equity. All right. Now, all right. So now we got this scaling projects. We got small, single family flips, build confidence. Multifamily, mixed use buildings, exponential equity. Okay. All right. Making sure my time is good. Okay. All right. 5:32. All right. So now the bigger picture, scaling with equity. When you master equity, you stop cashing checks. When you master equity, you stop cashing checks and start building wealth. All right. So the thing is to let that wealth, that equity ride and let it grow. Okay. Equity allows you to move from one house to 10, from 10 house to a whole block, and from a whole block to an entire neighborhood. That's what equity can do. That's what equity can do when used properly. And listen, that's what we're about. And that's why we're starting this transition from where we are now to the great capital, the great city of Jackson, the capital city, because we saw how equity can create wealth, right? And if we did it once, we can do it again, all right? And we can do it bigger. All right, so it's not just about profit. It's about power, control, and legacy. All right, equity is the fuel that takes you from contractor for hire to developer with a vision. Okay. Now, in closing, uh, equity is not just a balance on the number sheet. It's a tool. It's a weapon. It's a legacy, right? Um, if you want to build wealth, stop thinking about what you can earn per hour and start thinking about what you can create in value. Did y'all catch that? If you want to build wealth, stop thinking about what you can earn per hour and think about what you can create. Okay, what you can create in value. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. As contractors, contractors swing hammers. As developers, we swing visions. But as builders of equity, we build destiny. Okay, that's what it's about. So I want to leave you with this challenge. Okay, don't just build buildings, just develop projects. Build equity, build power, and build the future. Okay, I'm Brother Tinka, and this is Ask the Contractor, the licensed contractor, and we're going to wrap it up. And I'm going to also encourage you all to go again to ANSOTH.com to get involved about this blight situation that is prevalent in the city of Jackson. And no matter how it seems, how it looks, I don't look at things for how it looks. Okay, so Walt said, I need you to teach me how to do everything you're talking about. I got you. I got you, Walt. I definitely got you. And, before I close out, what I was telling you about what is important, how you do it. One of the old, how can we get this equity working out in our favor, and what makes it easier is we have got to get those credit scores up. A lot of the things I admit that I would not have been able to do if I didn't have a good credit score. Okay, no matter how bad one's credit is, it can be repaired. It can be repaired, and there's people out there doing it every day. You just got to be intentional. You got to be dedicated to it, and you got to keep with it, even though whatever the situation is. And but nowadays, people are willing to give up, property. They can do owner finance and things of that nature. And but to be quite honest, is that it was my ability to be able, or our ability to be able to, get, that signature. Use this capital. Is well, we live in a capitalistic society, right? And we use that as leverage. And I got to tell you another story about how we use that as leverage. But we're gonna plan it now. So suffice it to say, what I was saying you about a great way to take advantage of the capitalistic society that we live in, and the areas of building equity, is to also work on your credit score. Because I mean, when you're in a great relationship with a financial institution, you can just really call them up and say, hey, I need to get X amount of dollars, and this is what I want to do with it. And they're a community financial institution. After you build a relationship with it, they'll do it. Because what the bank does, and we don't understand it, the bank sells money. That's what the bank does. It sell banks, financial institution, they sell money. So, and it behooves us to understand how this thing works. A signature will take you a long way, right? They're in the business of selling money, just the same thing as Walmart's in the business of selling T-shirts, short pants, foods, vacuum cleaners, tires. These people sell money. And so, but in order for you to go there and buy some of their money, you got to get that credit together, right? And when you buy it, that means that you want to make more than what you pay to get the money. That's the game. But nevertheless, equity is where it's at. It can happen. So I'm going to ask y'all again to go to ANSOTH.com. That's ANSOTH.com, and click on the Get Involved. Please tell your families and friends and loved ones or whatever, is that we're going to do this thing. We're already doing it, and we need to build up momentum, but we're going to change the situation for our people here in Jackson, the capital city. All right, so we are the Blight Exterminators. Peace, love, and light. Thank y'all for tuning in. All right, Walt, we're going to get it done. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, brother.